Good evening, barflies and lounge lizards, and welcome to the Atomic Snack Bar. And tonight we'll be discussing 5 obscure classic sci-fi robots. And by obscure, I simply mean background information was a bit scarce, but we're going to give it a shot. And number 5 on the list is the radar-controlled robot from Vampire Over London, aka Mother Riley Meets the Vampire, from 1952. And Vampire Over London tells the story of a supervillain in the making who claims to be, and believes himself to be, a vampire. And from his base in London, he plans to take over the world using an army of 50,000 radar-controlled, uranium-powered robots. But unfortunately, only one is operational so far, and it is accidentally shipped to the titular Mother Riley, and the fun begins. This was the final film of the long-running Old Mother Riley comedy series. This is a great-looking robot with a nice dome head, and he was played by Tom Macaulay. Macaulay was a British actor who mostly did TV. It doesn't appear that he did any other sci-fi roles, but he did do several mystery films as well as some comedies. I wasn't able to find any information on who designed or built the suit or who did the effects on the film. But apparently, after filming was complete, the robot was displayed in the lobby of a Birmingham movie theater and would end up in a private collection for many years. It resurfaced again, sans the glass dome, and sold at an auction for around £1,700 in 2010. A little extra film trivia: the vampire supervillain played by Bela Lugosi was specifically not a vampire, so that the film could be shown to children, the main audience for Mother Riley films. A sequel was in the works as well, which would have featured the return of Bela and his bots, but by this point Bela's health was failing, so he couldn't make the trip back to England. Instead, there was talk of shooting new footage in the US. This would have been edited into Vampire Over London to create a new film called King Robot. This too was abandoned. And number 4 on the list is the Twonky from 1953. And the Twonky tells the story of a mild-mannered college professor who gets a new TV set to watch whilst his wife is out of town. But soon he finds that there's more to this TV than he ever imagined, especially when he discovers that it is actually a robot that can walk, play cards, and even dance. Things soon get even stranger when the Twonky begins to overstep his boundaries a little bit with a bit of innocent mind control. The film is, as you can probably tell by the footage, a low-budget sci-fi comedy. And the Twonky itself is a really fun little design, quite unique. It's also worth mentioning that the nameplate reads Admiral, an actual TV and appliance company. As to whether or not they actually manufactured the mind-controlling robot TV, well, the verdict's still out on that one. The special effects in the film are credited to a Robert Boeing. Boeing was an effects artist with a rather small filmography, only having 5 credits to his name. But said credits include The Last Voyage from 1960 and Around the World in 80 Days from 1956. The Twonky was based on a short story which first appeared in the September 1942 issue of Astounding Science Fiction. It was written by Louis Paget, which was a shared pseudonym for sci-fi writers Henry Kuttner and C.L. Moore. As to who was most responsible for the story, that's a bit unclear. Even the duo themselves would often forget who did what. And number 3 on the list is Kronos from 1957. And Kronos, or Cronus as some of the characters in the film pronounce it, tells the story of our titular hero who is sent to Earth by a mysterious alien race in order to save their dying planet. And to do so, the heroic machine must absorb all of the planet's available energy, which causes Kronos to grow larger and larger, not to mention his ability to take control of human beings. And Kronos is a truly remarkable and unique robot/machine, with really nothing else like it in film at the time. With its squared sections and completely alien design, it's far more akin to something one would have seen in a comic book or a pulp magazine. Even more unique was how Kronos was presented, a mix of practical effects and animation used for the walking shots. And there are a few credited with the special effects on the film, one of which was writer and visual effects artist Irving Bloch, who is most famous for not only co-writing the story for Forbidden Planet, but also in helping to design Robbie the Robot. Then we have Louis DeWitt, who worked on the Atomic Submarine, Monster from Green Hell, and the Giant Behemoth. As to the animation in the film, That was more than likely Gene Warren. Warren was an effects artist and animator who worked on Dinosaurus, The Time Machine, and built the spaceship miniature for Dollman from 1991. He also did stop motion on the aforementioned monster from Green Hell. And finally, the great Hua Chang of Star Trek fame is credited on the film for creating the stop motion puppet. So if you're playing the Atomic Snack Bar drinking game, you know what time it is. And on that, we should take a break.
Popeye, Brutus, stop fighting over me.
But we're not fighting over you.
You're not.
Popeye's boasting that he's a new soaky toy.
But he is, Brutus, see?
Yeah, you ignoramus. And he says he's a new soaky toy.
But he's a new soaky toy too, Popeye.
Well, blow me down. It's his sweet self.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah!
Okay,
You asked
white
for it.
guy.
Soaky clean and the ocean's full of fun.
Scrubbly, bubbly, flippity, flubbity.
Clean before you're done.
Soaky clean and every girl and boy
gets a toy. When it's empty,
it's a toy.
Look for the new Popeye and Brutus Soaky toys.
Takes the soaky fun back today.
It's fun.
More fun than getting dirty.
And we're back with number 2 on the list, and that's the robot from The Phantom Creeps from 1939. And The Phantom Creeps was a 12-part serial, later edited together into a film for TV broadcast, which once again featured Mr. Bela Lugosi as a mad scientist who once again wanted to take over the world. And among his many world-taking-overing inventions is the robot, one of the most iconic classic robots that many aren't even aware where he actually comes from. And this amazing-looking, almost monstrous robot was played by a man who is no stranger to playing robots, Ed Wolf. As discussed in my top 1950s sci-fi robots episode, Wolf was a suit actor for the Colossus from the Colossus of New York from 1958. And this 7'4" former circus performer also played the humanoid Fly in Return of the Fly and a mutant in Invaders from Mars. Yet The Phantom Creeps is one of the only times where Wolf was actually credited for his role. The robot would go on to have a life outside of the original serial. In September of 1939, The Phantom Creeps would receive a comic adaptation which appeared in Movie Comics issue 6. It's a rather unique book, using retouched movie stills as the basis for the comic panels. It also features a Phantom Creeps contest. Eventually, the robot would give up acting entirely and pursue his true passion, dancing. He now works as a backup dancer for Rob Zombie. And now it's time for an honorable mention, and that's the Metalligen Man from The Monster and the Ape from 1945. And this one is only an honorable mention because I could just barely find any information at all about this one. I actually had given up, and that's why I threw him as the honorable mention. But I was just determined not to let this one beat me. So I went back and I dug even deeper than usual and finally ran across a claim that I could not confirm nor deny that the robot was in fact played by the same actor that played the ape, Ray Crash Corrigan. Corrigan is best known for numerous Western roles as well as being an accomplished gorilla man, having appeared in The Monster Maker and Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla. And number 1 on the list, the Republic Robot, from multiple films and serials, all beginning in the 1930s. Also known as Dr. Satan's Robot, as well as the Water Heater Robot, the Republic Robot was a fantastic looking bot that appeared in multiple Republic serials from the 30s to the 50s, including an early version in Undersea Kingdom from 1936, and then an updated version in The Mysterious Dr. Satan from 1940. And also Commando Cody, Sky Marshal of the Universe from 1953. But probably its most famous appearance, outside of The Mysterious Dr. Satan, was in the 1952 serial Zombies of the Stratosphere, which would be edited down into the 1958 film entitled Satan's Satellites. And footage of the Republic Robot from Dr. Satan would be reused for Zombies of the Stratosphere. And Zombies of the Stratosphere tells the story of Martian invaders who plan to bring Mars closer to the sun. And of course, the Martians have a robot, because what self-respecting alien invaders don't have a killer robot? None I want to associate with, I'll tell you that. The effects of the film, and one would assume the robot as well, were created by the Lydecker brothers, Republic's in-house special effects team. Known for some of the best miniatures of the time, the two would go on to work with Irwin Allen doing effects for Lost in Space and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the latter of which earned Howard Lydecker an Emmy. As to who played the robot, I was only able to find the suit actor for the mysterious Dr. Satan, and that was stuntman and actor Tom Steele. Kinda fitting there, but Steele did stunts for hundreds of films and shows and acted in nearly as many. But probably most interesting to patrons of the snack bar, he was the stand-in for James Arness in The Thing from Another World for the fire and dog attack scenes. The Republic robot would have a lasting influence on film robots and would later appear in Flesh Gordon and Star Trek Voyager. And that's all the time we have for this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, watch the skies, and stay atomic.
I'm a spaceman. The moon and sun and all the stars are great big Tootsie Roll Pops. I'm a princess. Yes, my lord, it's a party tonight. We'll have Tootsie Roll Pops. All of the kids in the neighborhood say Tootsie Roll Pops are triple good. Triple good. And do you know why? Sure. Because 1, there's good tasting hard candy outside. And 2, there's a delicious center of Tootsie Roll inside. And 3, only Tootsie Roll Pops are such fun to eat. That's why they're triple good. And don't forget, Tootsie Roll Pops come in a party pack, too. 10 pops in assorted flavors. There's a game on the back that's lots of fun to do. All of the kids in the neighborhood say Tootsie Roll Pops are triple good. Triple good. You'll love Tootsie Roll Pops.